So let's get started. We're going to make the chimichurri first, so start to warm up your pan. The chimichurri is going to go by pretty quickly, so we want to make sure that the pan is hot and ready to go for when we put the steaks on. So Brittany is going to walk through how to do the chimichurri. It's kind of like salsa that we're going to end up putting in the Brussels slaw and then on top of the steaks as well.
All right. Chef Tyson, what do I do first?
So we're going to add all the ingredients to this blender cup for the chimichurri. So go ahead and add the red wine vinegar. We're going to add some oregano, some fresh, parsley leaves, garlic, and then red chili peppers. So go ahead and add all that. You don't want to go overboard with the red chili peppers. Yeah, go ahead and add that. Just so you can get the taste of everything else that's in this chimichurri as well. You don't want to overwhelm the palate. Add the garlic. And then we're going to add the salt and pepper. After we're done doing this, I will post the full ingredient list as well as the instructions on how to make this. So you can make it for dinner or lunch. It's pretty quick.
Smells great already.
Smells great. That's what we like. Okay, grab the blender. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and start blending this up. Just start on like a low. We want to get this until it's almost smooth. And then we're going to add in the olive oil, waterworks. So start mixing it, and then as it's being mixed, you're going to add in about a half cup of olive oil.
What are they making?
Okay, so that's the chimichurri. We're just going to let that kind of sit on the side until we're done with the steaks and the Brussels slaw. Okay, so you want to just bring it over here so I can see a little better. Okay, for the steaks, my steaks, these are top sirloin. They've been sitting out now for about 20 minutes, so they're a little bit closer to room temperature. This is going to help it cook evenly. We're going to want to season this. So freshly ground salt. It's going to feel like you're going overboard a little bit on the seasoning, but once you put it in the pan, you're going to lose about 35% of your seasoning. So don't be afraid to really go at it with both the salt and pepper. And then we're going to season it again right when we put it back in the pan. And I'm going to flip. Okay, kind of move them around to just kind of press the seasoning into the steaks. And then we're going to get the other side.
So, Tyson, did you go to culinary school?
I did. I went to the culinary school of watching Gordon Ramsay on YouTube for about 30 minutes before this. Oh, so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm basically a pro. Okay, so once the steaks are seasoned, you're going to get your olive oil, put it in the pan. Okay, and then steaks are going to go. When you're putting these in, you want to lay away from you so that you don't get any spray. And then you want to make sure that you're hearing that sizzle to make sure that those are cooking. For these steaks, we're going to flip them a couple times. We're going to flip about every minute, and that's going to keep them cooking evenly throughout. It's going to keep the steaks the same, as well as give like a nice char on top, nice coloring. You want to make sure that before you flip, you want to have some of that color, some of that char that we're looking for to make sure that it's going to have a nice crispy outside for when we are done. So this is the first kind of in the kitchen class that we're doing, but through the weeks we're going to have other recipes for stuff that you can do in a slow cooker. You can just kind of start it during lunch, and then you'll have a dinner all ready for you when you're off work. We'll also go over some different ways and tips and tricks to use like a grill or a smoker, just to kind of mix up what you're eating, especially when everyone's quarantined. We still want to make sure that you guys are eating healthy and make sure that's good too. So in about a minute is when we're going to add some stuff to really help bring out the flavor of the steaks, but also help with how it smells. So right now, I'm just adding some garlic. You don't necessarily need to peel it. You can if you'd like to, though. We're just going to stick that in the pan, as well as some rosemary. So this is just fresh rosemary. We're just going to stick the whole thing in like that. This is going to allow, when it's fresh, some of that rosemary oil is going to come off and really infuse into the steak, which is going to be very, very good. You people on this aren't going to be able to tell, but the second you put that rosemary in, it's going to start to smell a lot better. So we've let it go for about another minute on the other side. I'm going to put in my butter.
Oh yeah. Look at all that butter.
All that butter. So in the recipe that we're going to send, it asks for clarified butter. All that is you're basically going to cook out the milk fats that are in the butter. We didn't do that for this. I'm just using regular butter, which is fine as well. Whatever you want to do, there's not really one that's better than the other. Just for time's sake, we didn't cook out the milk fat. So butter's starting to brown a little bit. I'm going to tilt the pan towards me, and then I'll scoop up that butter and just put it all over the steaks. Just make sure that we're basting it, really keeping those steaks moist as we're continuing to cook. It's still gathering that flavor from the rosemary. I threw some thyme and some garlic in there as well. This is really just going to help bring out that flavor and make sure that they are good all the way through.
So, we have a few other classes on Zoom if you guys would like to join. Tomorrow, Tyson is doing a mobility class. You guys like to stretch at 7 a.m. So right now we have the mobility and in the kitchen for Tyson. And that's what we do right now, right? Yeah. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do mobility. Thursdays in the kitchen. Even if you're not members, like yourselves, we would love you guys to join any of our classes. We'll make sure the info is posted.
Oh, steaks are about done. I'm going to take them out, let them rest while we're finishing up the slaw. Taking the garlic out. I'm still leaving that oil and the butter in the pan. This is when we're going to throw in our shaved Brussels sprouts. Just right into the same pan so it can really soak up those same flavors from the steak. It's going to help tie everything together. For this, it's not going to take very long. We're kind of just cooking it until some of the Brussels get crispy on the outside. For the Brussels sprouts, you can buy them already shaved, or you can buy them whole, and then just kind of chop them down. If you have a food processor, you can just throw them in there for a couple seconds, and that's really going to make them that texture and the thinness that you're going to want for the slaw. The chunks I did, they're a little bit bigger than you would normally want. I just chopped them with a knife. I didn't use a food processor or anything like that. So they're kind of stirring up. They're soaking up all that butter, soaking up the juices from the steaks. We're just going to let that sit for a little bit until they get a little bit more crispy. You are going to want the steaks to rest, which is why we did it before the Brussels as well. It's going to be a lot more juicy if you let them sit for a couple minutes before you cut right into them. Brussels are about done, starting to get a little bit more crispy, got a good color to them right now. So I'm just going to take them off the heat, right into a bowl. Okay. After that, we're going to catch back up with the chimichurri sauce that we made. We're going to pour about 1/4 of a cup in these Brussels and give that a good mix. Things have rested for a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and cut into those. You want to make sure that the pieces aren't too thin so that you can still get that flavor throughout the steaks. If you look in the middle, it's about a medium. There's still quite a bit of color in the steak, which is good. That's where all the flavor. You don't want to cook it too long. Okay, so put the steak on a plate, and then we're going to take some of that chimichurri again, and you're just going to lightly kind of pour it over the steak once it's on the plate. There you go.
Wow.
Yummy.
Yes.
Chimichurri Brussels sloth. And you just
Good job.
eat with some friends or your family and enjoy it. And that's it.
Bring it on over. We're ready.
All in all, it took about 20 minutes. So again, this is super quick. You can do it on your lunch break. You can do it for a quick dinner. Super healthy, high in protein, high in fiber with the Brussels sprouts, and you're good to go. You try it.
Yeah, I want to try. That's
Fun.
great.
Tell them what you thought. Yeah. Tell them.
Wow. Tyson, you are a chef.
Good. 2 thumbs up for me.
So if you guys decide to make this recipe, definitely post it on your Instagram, Facebook story, and tag CrossFit OUR. We want to see what you can do in the kitchen as well.